Hey guys, good morning. It's just a little after 9 o'clock on Thursday, March 7th, and just wanted to make a quick video here regarding a couple of things going on. Um, First, as we speak, there's the European Central Bank came out with their rate announcement and their statement, and Mario Draghi, who's the head of the ECB, is speaking now. And overall, it was a pretty negative, dovish tone. The market really wasn't expecting too much from this, from the change their forward guidance. But they did make it a little bit more dovish and have pared back some of their projections as far as growth, inflation and GDP across the Eurozone. And basically pointing to some issues. You can just see some of these headlines here. I'm not going to read them all, but overall they're pretty dovish, and so the euro has come on under a lot of pressure this morning because of that, and that's probably going to continue. Um, Remember, these central banks are kind of what set the tone longer term for a currency fundamentally. Now, in the short term, you have sentiment, day to day stuff, economic releases, or just day to day feeling of the market that can push it the other way. But this really sets the tone. And, they were talking about before today potentially raising interest rates over the summer. Now they've pushed that back really to at least the end of this year. We've pared back, like I said, GDP and inflation targets. And so the um, the the euro has really been under pressure pretty much across the board. You can see, like I said, I'm not going to read all these headlines. You can see them here, but so stay on top of that. This is really going to set the tone for the euro going forward, and I would definitely be looking at selling euro on rallies going forward here. Of course, it's down right now, but you know, uh, just keep an eye on the euro because this is a little bit more dovish than I think the market was expecting, and so I think that's going to put the euro under some pressure going forward. The other thing I wanted to point out was the British pound. Now, I was saying in a video last week that uh, there were some good longs in the British pound last week, and that potentially to keep looking for those. And but I also said that it would be completely dependent on Brexit, and the euro is completely dependent on what's going on with Brexit. And this week has been a pretty neutral to a little bit bearish on Brexit. There's been some statements made by some of the members of the UK Parliament that are a little less confident about where things are going. So again, that's market sentiment, guys. That's the kind of the mood of the market on any given day or week or whatever. And it's been pretty negative to neutral this week, and so we've seen the pound kind of revert back to either drifting lower or moving sideways. Here's the pound Swiss. This is an hourly chart. There's the 4 hour, there's the daily, and we're just kind of like not really doing much here. And the British, the pound yen has been going down. Pound Canadian did have a little run up this week, but this was because of the Canadian dollar weakness, especially yesterday. But you can see since then it's been going back down. The pound dollar is drifting lower, also on dollar strength. All pretty much across the board. So you get the point. So I think again a lot of this is because of Brexit, and so next week is going to be a really pivotal week in the pound. There are really key votes taking place for 2 or 3 days in a row, I believe, starting on the 12th, and they're going to be taking place in the British Parliament on Brexit deals. Most of them are expected to fail, and the one that they have some confidence that will pass is the last one that will be taken, assuming the first two fail. That would extend the Brexit negotiations, give Theresa May another couple of months to try to work something out. And if that one passes, that should relatively support the pound at that point. So, but expect a lot of volatility in the pound because the mood is going to be pretty grumpy, especially early on if those first two fail. Then if that last one fails, that may give this some support. I mean, if the last one passes, that might give some support to the pound. But just be really cautious trading the British pound next week because it's likely, especially the middle of the week, to be very volatile based on the sentiment and these votes. and I couldn't find it, but there was a European Union bank member that was also kind of pessimistic this week, or about potentially not getting a good deal, or not accepting anything that Britain puts out as far as a potential compromise, softer Brexit deal. So for them to leave the European Union. So so that kind of weighed on the market too. So again, as far as the pound goes, it's completely dependent on Brexit. Really, economic data points and anything that the Bank of England says, I think, are pretty much a non-factor until this gets settled. That's so. Anyways, I would just be cautious trading the pound next week, and just even if you don't believe in trading news, and you don't like fundamentals, you should at least be aware of what's coming up and what's being discussed. Because if you're not, then the best laid plans of technical analysis and everything are gonna hit smack you right in the face. And you know what's going on with Brexit is really the key right now. So to the pound, and until that gets resolved one way or another, then you're going to continue to see volatility in the pound. So and that's kind of the way it's going to be. But again, the two big stories today or the main story today is the ECB rate statement. Um, you can just see right here. Brexit developments dominate the British pound, and they're saying a neutral bias. But again, this basically just goes on to say that um, you know Brexit is what's driving it, and even with these economic drivers, it's really not really equating to too much. So, anyways, guys, that's just a quick update for today. Euro under pressure, more dovish tone probably being set longer term. British pound negative this week to neutral to negative on Brexit sentiment, and a key week coming up next week in terms of votes on what's going on with Brexit. So please, keep an eye on all that, and make sure that you're practicing your good money management accordingly. Okay, I hope that you have a good rest of the week, and practice good money management, but make some pips, and have a good rest of the week. And we'll talk to you soon. Oh, and non-farm payroll and Canadian employment news tomorrow. So both keep an eye on both of those things too. Okay, talk to you soon. Thanks.